I feel a lot of ambivalence about this movie. I feel even more ambivalence after watching Movie Bob's review of it. This is not to say that Movie Bob is wrong or Movie Bob is always correct. I have differed from his opinions before. I do look up to him and how he reviews movies, but my experience with Upgrade is different from his, and a lot of other people apparently. Even though I do agree with a lot of his points about the good qualities of Upgrade and how it is very similar to the upcoming Venom movie, which I will probably still see. But I'll keep this to a review of Upgrade and not a review of Movie Bob's review of Upgrade. That's silly as that sounds. Anyway, we're in the future for like 20-30 years from now, where technological automation is mostly everywhere and everyone is mostly accepted, except for the main character, Gray Trace, played by Logan-Marshall Green, who has a distrust for advanced technology and trusts his two hands more. He spends his time fixing up pre-digital cars for rich people. Gray, with his wife Asha, goes to one of his clients, Aaron, to deliver the Thunderbird. For the movie to show that Aaron's an eccentric billionaire, we see him playing or doing something with his cloud. This is one of my first problems. My brain couldn't stop thinking about, what, a cloud? Is Aaron using that cloud to grow plants? Is that an actual cloud or just a digital cloud? I mean, we saw some plants at the entrance of the house. Is it a digital coded cloud or a holographic cloud? Which is not what it looks like because he swipes it away like a digital coded cloud. So is it like a digital pet rock or is it a pet digital cloud? That stuck in my brain like a little thorn that is constantly stinging. Afterwards, Gray and Asha gets in a car wreck where she gets shot by bad guys and while he gets paralyzed from the neck down. Another movie where the wife gets fridge. Anyway, Aaron visits Gray in the hospital and offers him an experimental and illegal or not yet legal computer program in a chip called STEM. That gets implanted in Gray's spinal cord in another scene while there's one minor thing that makes me go, what? The operation, do I get out the game? No, that's something else. It's happening at Aaron's house, not a hospital, on a table that's surrounded by a rounded structure. The rounded structure has some solid panels and some clear panels. When the camera passes over the clear panels in the overhead pan shots, we, the audience, see a digital outline of Gray's skeleton. And I was like, wait, why are we seeing this? Shouldn't the surgeon see this? And they can see this thanks to the digital devices on the table. But why put that technology in the clear panels of this sculpture that's above everyone's heads and out of reach? It reeked of style over substance in that quick scene. Anyway, back home, Gray is getting used to someone else controlling his body, and this is one of the highlights of the movies. The body acting that Logan-Marshall Green does really well to sell the disconnected feel of not being in total control of one's own body, as well as engage in dialogue without someone to act opposite of. Plus, playing a man talking to himself while not talking to himself, and doing that convincingly does win the actor some kudos, as STEM is a program with a mind of his own and decides he can help Gray with the case of his wife's murder since the case has been stalled. For the rest of the movie, Gray goes from place to place at suggestion or behest of STEM to learn about the truth of his wife's murder. Sometimes, most of the times, deferring to STEM on what to do or allow STEM to take full control. Now, the action scenes are quite a spectacle, I will admit that. The filmmakers do a clever use of camera tricks and special effects to give the audience a feeling of discombobulation, making us feel what Gray is feeling just being along for the ride and an unwilling passenger to the mayhem that is happening that he is causing. It gives some of the scenes a bit of humor. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the audience members get motion sickness watching the action scenes. The gore in this movie is good. It's used sparingly and only for the money shots at the end of the action scenes. There are some body horror on human modifications too, which some of it does remind me of the original Ghost in the Shell. But now I just want to rewatch that instead of talking about Upgrade. But I will finish this review, and I left this in the video for just the giggles, I guess. The movie has a plot and story that wasn't really interesting at all and never grabbed me. It's not terrible, it's serviceable for what the movie wants to do, but when my suspension of disbelief was shattered early in the movie, like I mentioned already, I wasn't drawn back in at all through the whole film. I felt the production design as a whole was a little flat and uninteresting, but to be fair, the movie is doing what it can with the budget it has, and it puts its interests and efforts in other places. I was fine with the color scheme, the color grading in places in the film, and the camera work and cinematography are either serviceable or flat out clever in places. However, some of the aspects of the movie was, I guess, supposed to be cool, just came off as weird or odd to me, and not in a good way, many of which I've already talked about. And the ending of the movie left a bad taste in my mouth. Overall, it wasn't a pleasant experience for me watching this movie, and if you ask me, I say skip it, but I'm alone in that camp.